Sometimes you will not finish a book. Other times, you will finish a book, but then you will give the second book a shot, and then you will not finish that one. And today, I'm going to split this particular DNF list into a number of categories. There is the first category, which is going to be the category of books after I DNF'd, I wanted to burn. And then there is the ones I was not sure about. Maybe I should finish it, maybe I should not. Basically, they were indifferent, okay? And then there were the ones I DNF'd and I will pick up again 100%. I just DNF'd them now and I want to save them up for the future or something like that. The first book in our list is Stone of Tears. So I have this nasty habit of when I read a terrible book, and if it's part of a series, I will give the author a chance and pick up book 2. If you have a book and I hate it, but it's book 1 or maybe book 2 in a trilogy or something like that, I will pick up the book after that. One of those book series I did this with was The Sword of Truth by Terry Goodkind. This guy is basically a reptilian lizard. He has no morals whatsoever. I did not like the way he was cocky. He always saw himself as above the fantasy genre. But I have never seen someone who writes as many cliches as that guy. No need to swear. I'm trying to really stay clean out of swearing, okay? I hated my life more. And I only reached as far as 6% or 5%. I don't particularly remember, but I started it one afternoon and then I dropped it the same afternoon I started because the protagonist had the same issues. Terry Goodkind was inventing all sorts of magic BS to get everyone out of trouble. And then to get everyone into trouble, just to get them out of trouble with another magical BS. Catching Fire, the second book in the Hunger Games trilogy. Well, now there's a fourth book out. Well, I did not finish that one too. I had an issue with book 1. Book 2 seemed to have been making no effort to fix any of those problems. The immature world building, most of it, and the immature world building continues in Catching Fire book 2. And that's it. I actually reached about 25% and I dropped it. I'm sorry. Okay, Throne of Glass, but not Throne of Glass, actually book 2. I DNF'd it about 10%, I think. Moving on, that's by the way, all I will give it because there is this review I made. It was so scathing and I got so many hate emails. I think I got like, by now I have 5 hate emails from Throne of Glass. Now let's talk about Black Company. Actually, this one is an original grimdark telling. It's the first book, not the second one. And I did not like this story for a very specific reason because it suffers from the biggest issue I've always had with grimdark fantasy. And it is that a lot of grimdark authors think in order to tell an adult story, they have to make everything as dark as they possibly can. They have to have as much gore as they possibly can have. Technically, they just want blood, sex, blood, gore, violence, blood, gore. But I think an adult story should have adult subject material. In other words, it should have depth. I think my future self will try something silly and maybe have a hyperbolic title just as a clickbait. But don't listen to him. My future self is an a-hole. Okay, I am the correct guy. This is not my entire life. This is like the last year and a half or 2 years. And then there is this one book where I was not really sure why I DNF'd it. Because you see, with the first category, I knew exactly why I DNF'd. I had a specific reason. And a lot of those, I might have, likely I have made videos talking about my issues with them. But here is the thing. With Six of Crows, yes, I DNF'd Six of Crows. I don't know why. I think it's because of Poppy War. Because at the same time I was reading this story, I picked up, because what I do is I read books together sometimes. And for instance, I was reading, Black Company, book 2, Ready Player 2, as well as Prince of Thorns together. I DNF'd Black Company, I finished Ready Player 2 and Prince of Thorns together, right? So this is something I do. I don't know, it's a nasty habit, but it means it's a survival of the fittest. If there is a book that is better than the other, it's going to get more attention. Yes. And that means Poppy War just engaged me way more than Six of Crows. because it was just written better, it had better characters, it had better conflict, it had better pacing, and it felt easy to, you know, just pick up again. Whereas Six of Crows, I'm like, dude, I get what's going to happen. There's really not much depth to this. I'm just gonna move on. And that kept happening for like about half a month. Okay, about half a month that kept happening, and eventually I just forgot about it. So I have nothing against Six of Crows. It just was not fit enough to survive against the onslaught of Poppy War, and it lost. It lost to Poppy War. It lost the attention game. Poppy War won. Here is actually the books where I will 100% pick up again. First of all, The Wheel of Time Epic, the first book, Eye of the World. I will 100% pick this book up again. I DNF'd it the first time, not because I have something against the characters, the story, the setup, because the setup is beautiful. I have nothing against the pacing. The pacing was also beautiful. Technically, the world, everything about the story is beautiful. The only issue I had, which caught me off guard, was how Robert Jordan is obsessed. He is obsessed with describing curtains and walls and irrelevant stuff. Okay, I technically don't want to use a swear word, but yes, he is obsessed with using a lot of irrelevant descriptions. One thing, because he describes a lot, his descriptions are very good. Yes, actually, I was very baffled by how good his descriptions are. It all was picking up about 25,000 words in, but about 7,000 of those were just descriptions, and it is bad when you have that many descriptions. I'm sorry, okay? I'm a modern fantasy reader. I am a modern fantasy reader. I read modern fantasy. It means I am not willing to sit through mountains of descriptions. I'm not willing to sit through chapters and chapters that seem to go nowhere. I'm more of a Brandon Sanderson reader. Well, guess what? That's where most modern fantasy seems to be going. And in order to capture the attention of a modern audience, you need to have, 2005 and beyond, you need to have actually stories that have good pacing and they just move along. The events happen much faster. The internet might be to blame for that. I don't know. Maybe I'm stupid. Yeah, whatever it is, I just don't like those descriptions. But I actually put it so that I can prepare mentally for this. I'm like, okay, I'm going to read this story. It's gonna have a lot of descriptions. So, all right, so prepare yourself, you know, don't be surprised. Another story that actually caught me off guard, not because I DNF'd it because it's bad. Actually, the first book, Black Prism, I already made a video about this, exposition dumps. You see, with Eye of the World and the first book in the Wheel of Time Epic, well, it didn't feel expository. The over description did not feel expository. It just felt that it slowed everything down. Whenever the characters moved somewhere, there would be like 1,000 words of description to get through. But moving back to Black Prism and the first book in the Lightbringer epic, well, in that particular sense, the only issue is that there is just a lot of exposition dumps, and it caught me off guard. Again, I rescheduled it. I didn't DNF it. But yeah, technically it's a DNF. Well, those are the only two, books where I DNF'd and I'm going to pick them up again 100%. Tell me any books that you have DNF'd before, and I'll likely give them like a check Goodreads, even if I haven't read them. Maybe I'll add them to my to be read list. Okay, I hope that you enjoyed. Have a nice day.